Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live. We have an interesting show for you today here. It's my bad day cup, and let's have a good talk on Rama and the Hindu epic called the Ramayana, and I don't know why this just came up this morning. And when I first started the practice of yoga, got on this path in 1971, I believe. Before that, we were living on a houseboat in North Miami Beach, in a little ragtag yacht basin with broken junk cars and abandoned and tires and falling apart deck and everything. And the yacht basin's name was the Rama Yacht Basin. Now, I didn't know who Rama was, and it was after my big awakening in 1968, and so I started writing poetry, and I named the book The Birth of a Soul by Rama. And so a few years later, we were house parents in Norfolk, Virginia, for a home for adult retarded, and I heard the call to get on the yoga path and find a teacher and find a guru. And so I went to Cleveland and joined the Light of Yoga Society, and the Indian master or guru of that society was Swami Rama. Aha. And then when I got into this path, we were immersed in the Indian yoga philosophy and yoga systems and the yoga mythology and the epic of Rama and Ravana. Now this epic is an ancient epic in Hindu literature. And it's the story of Rama and Sita. These were incarnations of God, perfect balance. God and the goddess, Rama and Sita. Well, Ravana, who was kind of like a mad yogi, he had done so many disciplines that he attained all of this yogic power. He had more power than the gods. So he stole Sita and took her to his hideaway, which they think was Ceylon, and held her captive. So Rama had to restore balance and get Sita back. So he enlisted the power of Hanuman, who was the monkey king of the monkeys. And so Hanuman was able to fly, and he searched and searched, and he saw Sita held captive, and he got the monkeys to build a bridge across the divide, the channel. And Rama and his armies went across the bridge and defeated Ravana and restored balance to the earth. Just like in the Avatar with Jake Sully and the war between the Sky People and the Navi. And the mother came and restored balance. And then I was thinking about the Grail stories of the Middle Ages and the romance of King Arthur. And they were all out seeking, they decided to go on a quest to find the Holy Grail. And so every knight went into the forest where no other knight had been. So they all went in, they didn't follow anybody else's path. They all went in to the forest alone. And Sir Percival, who had the purest heart of all, dropped the reins to his horse and let the horse lead him to the Grail Castle, where he eventually restored nature to its balance by finding the Grail. But Joseph Campbell pointed this out. Joseph Campbell was my mythological guru who taught me all I know about mythology. But when the metaphor or the symbolism of dropping the reins to the horse is your nature, and you let your nature find the grail. Now this connects with everyday mind when I repeat the story of my mother who lost the keys to her car, which were kind of like a metaphor for the keys to the kingdom, the keys to her power. And she was 100 at the time. So she was going around in circles in the house, couldn't find the keys to her car. And you know, when this happens, you start looking under the same magazine 5 times, hoping that you didn't see it before, that it will magically appear. So when you start going in circles, like in the desert, following your own footprints, you realize that you are in a lose-lose situation. Everything, no matter what you do, you lose. You can't, logic can't get you out of this fix. So when logic fails, what do you do? And logic, by the way, is what we use to control nature. Logic is what Ravana uses to control Sita, nature. So what did my mother do? Well, she told me, if I don't, this is going to give me a stroke, if I don't find these keys, because she knew they were in the house. So the next time I saw her, she was happy. And I said, what happened? She said, well, I just gave it up to God. And the next thing I know, I was walking into my bedroom. I had no idea why. And I just went to the closet and put my hand in a sweater, and there were the keys. So her surrender, while in the way she surrendered, and she lived to be 102, so she knew how to surrender. So her way, I just surrender it to God. But this was not so much, but what she really was doing was surrendering to her nature. Because her body went to find the keys. God didn't tell her to go look in go look in the closet. There was no, she didn't know why she was going to the closet. But her body knew, and our body is our nature. So to surrender to the body, you see, in our culture, particularly in our religious culture, is a sin. Don't surrender to nature, surrender to God. But God and nature are separated. So what do we do then, you see? How can you surrender to your nature when your nature is fallen? It's sinful. You've got to follow God. We're caught in a double bind. Wow, lose-lose. If you follow God, you're denying your nature. If you follow your nature, you're denying God. Lose-lose. What do I do? Logic fails. Well, we have to surrender that. Let's look up where we picked up today. Oh, this was interesting. So I was writing this out on my Facebook, and that's the way I usually get my talks going in the morning. I come down in the morning and I have get my coffee, and I put on Morning Joe, and I look at Facebook, and I have no idea. My mind's a blank. It's just like, and I feel this little, I have got nothing to say. I've got nothing to offer. My nature has nothing to say. I'm empty. Okay, I'm empty. And there's a little feeling of what to do, I don't have to do this talk. I can just forget it, But there's a little, but I want to give the talk. But I don't know what to say, so what do I do? But I start writing, and that's my nature. And the next, my fingers seem to know where the keys are. So my fingers start writing some ideas, and I started writing about Rama, Ravana, and Sita. And while I was writing it, I was typed in Rama, and what came up was a link to Swami Rama of Hardwar, who was the webpage of Swami Rama. That was my guru back in 1971, that I had ended up with after living at a yacht basin named Rama. And I was given a mantra by my guru, by my teacher, a Rama mantra. Om Namo Ramaya Namaha. Om Namo Ramaya Namaha. It's the mantra of Rama. So this myth of Rama and Sita and Ravana has been really a cosmic myth for me. I didn't know it at the time, But all these, you know, this at that time, and I had pictures of Rama all over the wall. You know, all these Indian, Hindu gods are, all these pictures of the Hindu gods. And they're idealized Hollywood, Bollywood kind of pictures, you know, and they're really great. But they're metaphors that point to us. You see, they're not factual. That's the beauty of the Hindu gods, is that they don't look like real people. They've got many arms and everything, so you know they're abstractions. You know they're metaphor. You know they're pointing to something. So they're not like they're transparent to the transcendent. You see. Now, what is the transcendent? But our nature. And where is our nature? It's now. So let's kind of see if we can tie this up a little bit. I put a Ravana up here, and I was interested in Ravana because Ravana was a yogi gone mad. Hindu mythology is full of stories, myths about yogis who did all these disciplines. And if you do yoga disciplines, fasting and asana and meditation and all these things, you get power. It's called siddhis, power. And so they would get all this power, and it would be more powerful than the gods. And they would be like Darth Vader. Some yogi gone mad, because these Jedi Knights were yogis. A yogi gone mad, accumulating power. And then there's the abuse of power. So what's going on here? What is Ravana trying to achieve? What does he want, you see? Why does he want to be number one that is outstanding? So he wants to be greater than the gods. He wants to be number one. He wants to keep expanding until he is greater than all of the other forces and all the other gods, you see. I was thinking about my mind jumps a lot, so let me just connect up with the mockingbird in my front yard. Now I have a mockingbird in my front yard, and he has a nest right there, so he sits outside my front porch, and he sings. I talked about him the other day. So he just sings, and he's singing, "I am the unique one." But the mockingbird doesn't keep expanding his uniqueness and go out and keep killing other mockingbirds, because every yard has another mockingbird. So all of you can hear mockingbirds singing, "I'm the one, I'm the unique one," you see. But each one is the unique one, and they don't have to expand their uniqueness so that they are unique one because they've just killed all the other mockingbirds. You see? So they're the only ones singing in the whole universe, you see. That's what Ravana is doing. He's a mockingbird that wants to be the only mockingbird singing, so he has to eliminate all the other mockingbirds. Everyone else has to be a loser, and he has to be the winner. But the basic part of it, it's the drive to be unique. Now, how do we have to fulfill this drive to be unique. So how do we do it Rama and Sita style? Well, Rama and Sita, Rama is like the movie Avatar, when nature restores balance. So Rama, and of course in the Hindu mythology, gods always come with a goddess. So you have god and goddess. And in the Hindu mythology, the goddess of the god is the creative energy. He doesn't create anything. She creates everything. It's just like in families. I mean, the woman is the one that creates the baby, you see. So the female, the goddess, is the creative energy, you see. And so Ravana wants to control the creative energy. He wants to control nature, so he captures Sita, you see. And so that's what Ravana wants to do. This is the abuse of power. So the Ravana is going to control females, is going to control nature. So you get your Bill Riley and your Bill Cosby, and you get your Trump, you see. So the women they control is Sita, and they're Ravana. So Rama restores balance by surrendering to nature. So nature is metaphorically represented by Hanuman, the monkey king. Monkeys are nature. So he surrenders to nature, and nature finds the keys. Nature takes him to the car keys. And he goes over the bridge created by the monkeys and defeats Ravana and restores the soul. He restores, the story is always restoring the world, but these are all about the soul. So he restores balance. I restore balance to my soul. I restore my soul when I surrender to nature. I restore my soul when I surrender to my nature. So you see, restoring nature is in balance. If you notice, nature is always, the earth is in balance unless we become Ravana and try to control it. So when we try to control nature, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with making a dam and controlling nature, but when we do it as an abuse of our power, we destroy the balance of nature, and of course that's what global warming is all about. So restoring balance is restoring the whole to its original pristine balance. So the path of the soul is to be one with the world, which is nature. So you surrender to nature. You become one with your body. Now this is what being in the zone means in sports. When you have somebody who's in the zone, or a basketball team that can't make a mistake, they're so in sync with their bodies that their minds are not even thinking about what to do. There is no choice. You just do it. It's Nike. You just do it. You just go to the closet and get the keys. You don't know why you're doing it. It's a spontaneous act, you know. So, to be one with the world is to be unique. Now, isn't that interesting? So both Ravana and the mockingbird, yeah, I connect stuff. So Ravana is singing his uniqueness, but his uniqueness is depending upon his being the one without a second. So there are no other gods before him. So it's a uniqueness in form. Okay? The unique object, the unique form, the unique something that everybody can see. The top of the tower. Number one, you see. That in form. In the body. So this is, Ravana identifies with his physical form and wants that physical form to be number one. But on this side, there is the drive to be unique, but it goes in the opposite direction. So both Rama and Ravana are going to be, or driving, have to be unique, but they're going in opposite directions. So the direction Ravana goes is surrender instead of acquisition. Instead of defeating other gods, instead of excluding others until he remains to be the number one, you see, this is the path of exclusion. I'm going to get rid of all the immigrants. I'm going to get rid of all the enemies. I'm going to get rid of anybody who disagrees with me, so I will be the last thing standing. I'm going to get rid of all opinions. They're on Facebook. I'm going to get rid of all opinions that don't agree with mine. So I am the last opinion standing. Or over here, we have the opposite direction of going to be unique, but going to be unique through surrender to not the world in the sense, okay, I give up to you, okay, you win. That's not what I mean. That's being a welcome, that's being a floor mat where you let somebody walk on you. That's not it at all. To be one with the world is to be unique that is not unique. So when you surrender to your nature, you are being the unique, you are being the whole that is unique instead of the one that is unique. Nature is unique. And when you surrender to nature, you say, you are affirming your uniqueness. But it's a uniqueness that does not affirm itself as a separate object. It's a uniqueness that is the whole, in balance, in tune with, in sync with, which is happiness, and which is creativity. So if nature is creative, Sita, nature is creating itself. When you surrender to nature, you are participating, you are the creative force of nature personified in you. So you are creating yourself by surrendering to the creative force of your own nature, and that's unique. Creativity means this has never existed before, and that's unique. So when you surrender to your nature, you're surrendering to your own natural creativity, and you create yourself as unique. You have never existed before. In this moment, you have created, we are all creating ourselves in this moment. We have never existed before as we are right now in this moment. Just a few moments ago, that's already gone. I'm unique now. And that little, now that's gone, and now I'm unique, you see. So we're all creating ourselves as being unique. You see? We're all participating in the creative force of Sita and the goddess, you see. And so that, by whatever is created, is unique. That's why I was talking about this bad day. So somebody created this as a bad day cup, a bad day mug, and wow, that's unique. I never saw one of those before. That's unique. But then as soon as you get a whole shelf full of them, they're not unique, and you want something else unique. So the idea of uniqueness that we're looking at here is permanent uniqueness. Not I was unique just a minute ago, and now somebody else has come up and they're unique, and I'm not unique anymore. Or I got a new fashion. I just spent $450. This was on Facebook. Nordstrom sells Levi's with fake mud on it for $450, and so the first one to buy that is going to be unique. But as soon as somebody else gets it, hey, it's worthless. It's not unique anymore. Or the woman who gets a new outfit, and as soon as she sees somebody else, she's no longer unique. It's worthless. So uniqueness that depends upon form only has value as long as there is no other competition. As soon as there's another form like you've lost your uniqueness. And that's what Buddha calls suffering. The suffering is the desire or the craving to become unique in form. Nirvana is the desire to become unique as part of the whole of reality, which is participating in the creative force of reality. We'll stop there, and I'll see you at Martini time tonight. Thank you for dropping in.